Welcome to Veteranbassin. Today will be Military Monday, and today's special guest will be a brother of mine, well, soon to be brother of mine, and also a brother of mine. And well, doing no introduction. His name is Dr. Dale Butler. As you can see behind me, he served in the Army. We're gonna let him tell his story. Now, he might touch on, again, some sensitive subjects. He might not. It all depends on how he feels. We want to maintain the utmost respect when talking with the veterans. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to trigger anything in them that, you know, any bad memories. So, without further ado, let's give it over to Dr. Dale Butler and hear what he has to say about his life, career, in the armed forces. You know, he might talk on some stuff he did. But let's not waste any more time about that. Over to you there, sir.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you're my brother 2 times. My brother in 2 times. We'll holler at that right there. I served 17 years in the Army. My entire career was reservist. I volunteered 6 deployments. My first deployment was Iraq. We were there for 2 years. We had to do some things to get home.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the situations that we find ourselves in, it still bothers us. We can't get past, taking someone else's life. One thing they didn't put in the fine print that, they did to you of them.
Yeah.
That they ain't put that in the print.
They never do.
But one thing throughout the years of me serving, I have learned is family oriented, especially if you send someone day in, day out.
Yeah.
You start, making them your brother and sister, then you start depending on them with your life. Then all of a sudden, they first start off strangers. Then through the years, you can't see yourself out talking to them, seeing them, almost like a blood kin. And, it's funny how you miss somebody that you served for 10 years. You didn't think nothing about it. Then once you're out, you got to call them up. Look, man, I miss you now. What you doing, man? and it's funny, and now you've been out, I can relate now to different veterans that served in different all 5 branches. And one thing that we all have in common is the brother and sisterhood.
Yeah.
And regardless of what they go through or what they've been through, if they see another vet or recognize a vet, everything come back to a family-oriented perspective where they could push past just a little more.
Yeah.
And I shared this story with you. I actually had a couple of my old teammates call me up. Some of them suffer from PTSD. Suicidal rate is very high with us.
Very, very.
And I actually said that we got to talk to them. And we went down memory lane. How we used to sit out in front of the EPW camp, with a fire and roasting marshmallows and cracking jokes, having barbecue in the middle of the desert.
Yeah. Hot as it is.
Man, and you sleep in that cot and you're waking up, just covered in sweat, and you got pools of sweat around you like you almost swimming in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
So, then they got them crabs, spiders the size of a cat running across the room. We just laugh about a lot of things. And one thing that I understood the most was Campbell. He actually stepped on an IED, and it blew off all his ligaments.
Yeah.
So he's sitting on the side, just in the stands, I'm like, and we all just bust out laughing. And that us rekindling our memories, it brought him back into reality where he was no longer suicidal. And just off of that story alone, it should give you the impact to to let you know to reach out to your kinship and your brothers and your sisters. You know, they could push you just a little more, and hold on just a little while longer. You'll get you past that depression. But the point is, you gotta take the first step and reach out. Because we're not mind readers.
We're not. We'll go back to life over in the desert if you want to. We'll start off with where'd you go with boot camp?
Lost in the woods, Fort Leonard Wood.
Fort Leonard Wood. Well, yes, I have. I've been to Fort Leonard Wood, but I didn't go for boot camp per se. With my time, because I was a prior Navy first, I ended up going to Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Okay.
So, and that's when they did the Warrior Transition course for me. And for my MOS at the time, because I switched over from Navy to Army, I was a medic, but I didn't want to do medic in the Army because it was like night and day.
Right.
So at that time, I ended up at Fort Gordon for IT at 25 Bravo.
Okay.
And then in order for me to deploy with the Army, I needed to have a combat MOS. So that's when I ended up going to, I forgot the fort name in Wisconsin. Fort McCoy.
I'm saying everybody know that one.
Fort McCoy, and that's when I became a 13 Bravo. So, with that, your MOS was?
MP, 31 Bravo, and 92 Whiskey and 92 Fox. 92 Whiskey is water purification, and 92 Fox is fuel control.
If you don't know, unlike the Navy, which is what my first branch was, in the Army, you can carry multiple MOSs. You can do multiple jobs, which is a whole lot better, for converting over to the civilian world, because then you can actually be more of a jack of all trades. So where were your schools at for those MOS?
As an MP, everything was at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri. I did what's called a OPSAT, which we did basic training AIT consecutively.
Yeah.
And after that, I wanted to go into MPI, which is Military Police Investigator Force, was at Lost in the Woods.
Yeah.
And also did physical security there as well. Majority of my background for the first 10 years of my career was military police. But basic training IT, I had a ball. My drill sergeants picked on us and we picked on them back.
Well, most time with boot camp, your first few weeks, you hate life. That's just a given. But I would say to me, around that third to fourth week, that's when it really gets fun. So, unless you don't want to touch on it, how long was it before your first deployment?
I actually went to OSAT and basic training in August.
Yeah.
Went through that, went straight through AIT. I got home November the 3rd. We had drill the 13th, we got orders.
Yeah.
December the 15th, we was in Fort Dix, New Jersey. So, going straight from AIT and basic training, going straight to deployment, I didn't know at the time that 822 Military Police Company on the 327 Military Police Brigade out of Arlington Heights, Illinois was a Tier 5 deployment. And I didn't know that part. All I knew that, they was telling me that MP was bad. And you got 3 people and we got enough firepower to take out a platoon of infantry.
Yeah.
I thought they was lying. Yeah, I learned the hard way. Timothy, we had a Mark 19, M249, all of them had a sidearm and M16 and a shotgun. And I didn't know that.
But but then too, y'all mostly did the. It was y'all that mostly did convoy security over there.
Yeah, we did. We actually established the route of Tampa, which went from Kuwait actually into Iraq all the way to Baghdad. We did escorts. We get attached to a Special Force Marine unit when we hit Camp Coyote.
Force Recon?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I never understood that part.
Well,
I can't reserve his MP unit to get attached to Special Forces. Like, I was like, hey, whoa, what's going on? But, you know, those are group guys. We have fun playing with these toys, you know, and it's our first deployment. I'm just getting in. I see this cool, got all these gadgets, and I'm like, ooh. Then he gets to me, and I'm like, man, this stuff heavy. I got carried in.
Well, with Force, well, that's the first time I ever heard, because most time with special ops, they don't really have convoy security. Now, they will have a top, you know, pretty much, you know what I'm saying, their eye in the sky, but they really never really had convoy security. So that one there is a new one on me.
Well, as MP, he is actually a part of Black Ops.
Yeah.
And, you know, without us securing the facilities and for them moving forward and securing their rear, you know, that's actually part of our job description. You know, and that's why, you know, a lot of times, you know, we have top secret clearances.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, I just thought before I joined the military that, you know, that was just a myth that the TV was saying, but it's actually reality.
So you did your first deployment straight out of basic AIT.
Yes.
Now, your second deployment came how many years after?
We spent 18 months over there. We got back in April, deployed back out in June, and we went to Cuba. There's EPW, which was, at that time they called it 9-2 Charlie, which was corrections.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so you was at G-Bay.
Yes.
Okay.
18 months.
Oh man, G-Bay. All right. Then you come back from Cuba, and then you go to
Went to Kosovo.
Kosovo.
Even though that was volunteer.
Yeah.
But my platoon volunteered to go, so we all went.
And then from Kosovo you went to
back to Iraq. We opened and closed Camp Buka, Iraq, EPW camp.
Yeah.
It was 100 miles due east from the border of Kuwait. So we opened it and shut it down. That was fun.
So after that, you go to.
Then we went over to Egypt for AIT. We were there for about 3 weeks.
Egypt?
Yeah.
I ain't never did AIT in Egypt.
Yeah.
Been there, but I ain't never did AIT in Egypt.
Oh yes. Then we went back to Iraq. This time it was in Baghdad. And I came home in about 2 months. Then I went back to Kuwait for about a year and a half as support as 31 Bravo. Then after that I got tired.
I don't blame you.
Doing one transition, I had an RST with 377 quartermaster unit. So I like what they did. All they did was basically set up fuel points and sit there and pump gas.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. They was all made up of quartermasters. So I went over to them, and now that part was we had the ball. We set up all type of bunkers and the flow of fuel. I learned a lot. Not only that, we wound up getting 5 state certifications after that.
Well, besides your military career, and now the thing about after you come home, you have to deal and adapt to civilian life, and not only with that, you still have to contend with the issues that you go through. Because now I'm not going to go too far into it, and that's what you want to do. But you don't go over there, you know, for anything light. You know, you will see some combat or whatsoever, and that do stay on you. You know what I'm saying? And you still relive those issues. Well, after you leave the military. So, you know, some veterans, they need a lot of help. But my question to you would be, how was it after you left the armed forces and knowing that the PTSD, the medical issues, the injuries, and so forth, so on, from being in that life and career, how hard was it for you to come and to readjust and try to function in the civilian setting?
Well, converting from military to civilian, it was extremely difficult because in the military it was very structure oriented.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, you had this to do, this is set up and we go. Now in civilian world, it's set the way, but it's really not.
Yeah.
It's more of do as I say, not as I do.
Mm-hmm.
But the military is do as I demonstrate.
Yeah.
And you know, it was very hard dealing with no structure. And you know, a lot of times that, you know, people speak out their feelings and about our brothers and sisters that's still serving over in other countries, and they don't know what they're going through and what they've been through. You know, for them to fight for their freedom, and you sitting here constantly in the States, and you're trying to say, well, why are they over? They don't need to be over. I have seen women over in Iraq being belittled and degraded. They literally have to walk behind their significant other, and this is their brother, not their husband.
Oh wow.
And you know, they have to be covered from head to toe.
Yeah.
And the material they walk around is basically cotton polyester, and you're in a desert, 90-something degrees.
Even hotter than that.
You know, and to me as a man, as a father, and I have daughters, to be subject to that is offensive. Not only that, they can't speak their mind openly, and they have to be escorted or get permission from any male role model or position in family. For example, if their brother don't give him permission and he's the youngest,
Mm-hmm.
they can't go. I'm 30 years old and my brother's 12, and I gotta get permission. You know, for example, we was in Baghdad, Iraq, and one thing we had to investigate with CID that one of their civilians over there was interested and married a U.S. citizen. That's a brother in the armed forces, and her family killed her. Her brother cut her throat because he was married to a soldier.
Now I've heard stories of that. Now I've never seen or experienced those. But I think we kind of came off the subject. But dealing with coming back here to the States, or not even coming back to the States, I'm sorry, but dealing with leaving that life where pretty much everything is set and laid out for you. You know, insurance, medical, dental, the whole nine. Everything is set out for you. You really, in the military, don't have to spend a dime, to be honest with you. You really don't. Because everything is really furnished for you. Then you have to come out into the civilian world where not a lot of people really want to hire veterans. Not like talking about it. They really don't. And you know, it's the mental issues and the things that's going on with vets you pretty much are only set to certain jobs. You know, any job where most vets come out, like yourself, they're either police officers, corrections officers, you know, some type of law enforcement, because they're the only ones that really will take on the veteran. Now, a lot of these other companies, they won't. So there's a lot of veterans out there that actually end up, you know, homeless, you know, struggling day to day. And I feel that, you know, America needs, now, again, I said this in the last video, America has a lot more problems going on right now with the whole, you know what I'm saying, social injustices. But, you know what I'm saying, during that time, we still cannot forget the men, women who put their lives on the line to defend this country. And that is something that's been going on since Vietnam. So my question to you is, what is your take on that aspect and what's been going on and how veterans are treated once they get back home?
But like I stated previously, you know, the situation I gave you, you know, that's the type of situation that we have to deal with the carnage that we experience. So now when we come home, our family is subject to everything we experience because we don't know how to positively release it.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. You know, the government really don't take care of the vets like they're supposed to. You know, we raise our hand and we put our life on the line for this country, even though we come back and we're treated like a third world citizen.
True that.
You know, and only thing, I'm not even going to top on the current events that's going on now, because it's been going on for centuries and decades. So to me, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
And right now, they just tired of being tired. And a lot of vets are the same way. You know, there's vets that's diabetic that can't get their medication.
Yeah.
There's vets that's living on the streets that can't find a job because everyone has said they're overqualified for that job, which is not the veteran fault, because, you know, the military gave them a grade A education, and also they give them the technicality what they need to prefer their career while they was doing their career.
Yeah.
So that's not our fault that we coming out prepared. And, you know, you got people coming out of high school just know the book part about it, but not the hands-on.
Correct.
And with the military, they teach us both.
Yes.
And, you know, we already got I call it hands up and head out, because we already got the tools that we need. And, you know, in civilian world, they don't want to see that. A lot of times we're qualified for their positions.
Yes.
And, you know, if you're coming in getting hired and I'm looking at your resume and you out-qualified me, there's no way I'm going to hire you because you're going to take my job.
Correct. That's
true. There's no job security.
That's true. And that's something that I've actually experienced a lot in my time after I left the armed forces. And for a while, it took me a good long time to actually find a job.
Yeah.
You know, it was a struggle. But I guess on that note, because I don't know how long we've been sitting here talking. I guess I'll let you close it out with anything that you would like to advise people on, you know, if they're thinking about going into the armed forces, what you think that they should do, kind of expect, and what would be your general advice for them to, I guess, either further their career in it or to at least make it back home and still be able to function in the civilian world once they get out?
Well, for example, I use the military as a tool to get my education. Also, also to get the tools in life that I need to survive. In other words, how to communicate effectively with diversity, with different ethnicities. I would tell anyone go into the military and take advantage of their education and the experience, because some people never get out of their home state.
True.
So go live life, because you only got one time and one shot at this. So go and live your life to the best of your life. Just continue to put God first, or whatever your belief system is, and do everything accurately and do diligently with loyalty and honesty. And for you vets that suffers with PTSD like I do, reach out to someone that you can talk to openly and without restrictions, so you can get it off your chest, so they can understand what we go through as a human, and also as we've been scarred through life, how we had to endure. But continue to reach out. Suicide is never the answer. I understand how you feel, that you got your back against the wall and no one understands you. I promise you, we do understand, because we're right there with you. God bless, and we love you, and we always stand together.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like button, and any notification, click the notification bell. I know that this was a touchy subject. We hit on a couple of matters that that most vets don't really want to talk about. He didn't really go into complete detail of everything that happened, but still it was a touchy subject. Again, comment on anything that you would like to see or hear or know. Veteranbassin, like always, we love you. May God bless. We out.